Very good morning. See, I'm starting the session. Listen. So, in Oracle SQL, we are discussing about DDL commands. The DDL commands, very clearly, you know about create command. The previous session, I have given introduction on alter command. So, why we are using alter command? Using alter command, what we can do? We can change structure of table. So, we can change structure of table. Alter means change. We can change structure of table. So what we can do? What we can do? We can add the columns. We can rename the columns. Okay, we can drop the columns. We can add the constraints. We can rename the constraints. We can disable the constraints and we can enable the constraints. We can drop the constraints and we can modify the field sizes. We can modify the field sizes. Okay, like that. We can modify the data types. We can modify the data types. Okay, so for these 10 purposes, we are using the alter command. We can add the columns. We can rename the columns. We can drop the columns. We can add constraints, rename the constraints, disable the constraints, enable the constraints, drop the constraints, modify the field sizes, and modify the data types. So all these 10 things I cover with one example. So in today's session, just we are discussing about the alter command only. With one example, I cover all these. Try to understand. Okay, example on alter. Example on alter. Okay, and in the Google Classroom, I uploaded complete SQL and PL SQL notes. Did you get that notes? Okay. See, examples on alter. We want to create one table now. Table name is student 5. Student 5 is the table name. Okay, in this table, we want to create only 2 fields without constraints. This is our requirement. So we want to create one table now. Table name is student 5. In this only 2 columns we want. One is SID, another one is SNAME. SID which type? Number type. We want get like this. Okay, SNAME which type? Varchar2 type. Okay, so we are writing create command now. Creating table. What we have tried? Create table. What's the table name? Student 5. Opening bracket. SID. Number type. Okay, size we are giving as 4. SNAME. Varchar2. Varchar2 of 10 I am giving. Okay, then bracket close, semicolon. Okay, now table is created. Now in this table, how many columns are there? 2 columns are there. Observe here. I'm opening SQL Plus. I'm showing it practically. Just observe. Oracle 9 AM. Okay, observe here. See, we want to create the table now. So we are writing create query. Just I'm copying this query. Now table is sorry. This table name is already existed. See, listen. If you want to make any modifications at SQL prompt, what we have to do is Just simply type ed. Type the command ed. Ed stands for edit. We want to edit now. So just simply type ed. Then change the table name here. Okay. I'm giving table name as student 5 5. Student 5 5 table name I'm giving. So if you want to make any changes, just simply type ed. It will display the command in notepad. Just to save this one. Save this one. And remember, don't write semicolon here. Don't write semicolon here. Okay. Just after whatever the changes you want, the changes we are doing here, and save it. And this is the recent query in the memory now. To run the recent query in the memory, what we have to type? Slash. Table is created. Observe here. Table name I changed it here. If you want to make any changes, for example, you are typing like this: insert into table name student 5 5 values. Okay, like this we are writing. Now observe here, mistakes are there. Okay. If you want to edit that, you can use page up, page down also. Observe here, page up, page down. Page up means it is displaying previous commands. Page down, next commands. So page up, page down you can use, you can edit here. So whatever the mistakes are there, those mistakes you can edit like this. This is one way. Okay. And sometimes if you want to make the changes, we can use ed. Ed also you can use. Okay. Now table is created. What is the table name now? Student 5 5. Observe here. So table name is student 5 5. Student 5 5 table is created. As of now, in the table, how many columns are there? Please observe. 2 columns are there. So this is the existing table. We want to add one more column, that is M1 column. Adding a column. Now in the table, how many columns are there? 2 columns are there. One is SID and another one is SNAME. 2 columns are there. We want to add one more column. What is that one? M1. M1 column we want to add. We want to hold marks. So university is conducting maximum 100 marks. So to add the column, observe the syntax of alter command. See, alter table, table name. Based on our requirement, we use the keyword here. If our requirement is adding the column, which keyword we have to use? Add. If you want to rename the column, which keyword we have to use? Rename column. If you want to drop one column, which keyword we have to use? Drop column. If you want to drop multiple columns, use drop. To modify field size or data type, modify. For adding constraint, add constraint keyword. For renaming constraint, rename constraint keyword. For disabling constraint, disable constraint keyword. For enable constraint, enable constraint keyword. For dropping constraint, drop constraint keyword. So alter table, table name, write the keyword based on our requirement. Now observe here, our requirement is adding column. So this is the existing table. We want to change the structure of table. So which command we have to use now? Alter table. What's the table name? Student 5 5. Okay, we want to add the column. So what we have to write? Add. To add one column, we have no need to use parentheses. Column definition we have to give. M1, which data type? Number data type. Okay, number of 3. To add one column, parentheses are not required. To add multiple columns, we must specify the parentheses. Okay, so now it displays output as table altered. Table altered output we will get. After that, to see the table structure, what we have to write? Oh, describe student 5 5. Now what it will display now? Student ID, student name, M1. Now 3 columns are there in this table. Okay, so this is the output we are getting. Table altered. Here we are getting output as this column list we are getting. Observe here. I'm showing this practically. Observe. To see the table structure, we use which command? Describe. In the table, how many columns are there now? Two columns. We want to add one more column, M1. What we have tried? Alter table student 55. Add column name M1. Number data type size 3. Observe here what it is telling. Table altered means one column added. Added or not, if you want to check, what we have to see? Describe. Describe. What is the table name? Student 55. Observe here. Now how many columns are there? 3 columns. Previously how many columns were there? 2. Now 3 columns are there. Observe. Okay, so previously 2 columns were there in student 55 table. Now after this alter command, we added M1 column here. Now 3 columns are there. Next, this is the way of adding one column. Now my requirement is I want to add 2 columns. Adding 2 columns, multiple columns we want to add. Okay, so as of now table structure is SID, SName, M1. As of now table structure is SID, SName, M1. We want to add 2 more columns, M2 and M3. Marks of subject 2, marks of subject 3. 2 columns we want to add now. That is our requirement. So adding 2 columns. So to add 2 columns like this, what we have to write? Alter table student 55. Add we must use parenthesis. Add which columns you want to add, you have to tell. So here we have to define the column definition. You can specify field name, data type, constraint, constraint name, constraint type. Okay, so, but now I'm specifying only field name and data type. M2 number of 3, 1 column, comma, M3 number of 3. Okay, semicolon. Now 2 columns will be added. Observe here. I'm copying this. It displays message as table altered. See, observe here what it is telling. Table altered. M2 column added and M3 column added. Now added or not, if you want to check what we have tried here, describe. What is the table name? Student 55. Observe here. Now how many columns are there in the table? Observe. 5 columns are there. Okay, so now previously 3 columns were there. SID, SName, M1. After this alter command, here we are adding 2 columns, M2 and M3. So now total 5 columns are there. So this is the way of adding columns. Next, now what is the last column name? Please confirm. M3. I want to rename this as mass. Column name is M3 now. I want to rename this as mass. Okay, so renaming a column. Renaming a column. So to rename the column, what we have to write is alter table. Okay, what is the table name? Student 55. To rename the column, what we have to write? Which keyword we have to write? Rename column. Rename column. Then give the old name. Rename column. Then give the old name. What is the old name here? Sorry, M3. Or what is the old name here? M3. M3. Old name 2. Give the new name. What is the new name we want to give? Mass. That's it. So M3 is the old name. We are renaming to mass, new name. So like this we write. So now observe here what it is telling. See, table altered. So rename column, old name to new name. Okay, old name is M3, new name is mass. Now the last column, M3 column name changed as mass. Observe here. Describe. What is the table name? Student 55. Observe here, last column name is not M3 now. Last column modified as mass. Okay, so this is the way of renaming column. So in the existing table, we are changing the column name. In the existing table, if you want to make any changes, use alter command. Next, I want to drop this mass column now. Dropping a column. Dropping a column. This mass column we want to drop now. What we have to write? Alter table name specify the keyword. Okay, to drop one column, which keyword we have to write? Drop column, drop column, drop column, then give the column name. Which column we want to drop? Mass column will be dropped now. Observe. So to drop one column, we are writing drop column. Okay, observe here, table altered, describe student double five. You can check here. Now mass column is not there. Only 4 columns are there. Mass column deleted. Okay. Now we want to drop multiple columns now. M1 and M2. To drop one column, you can use drop column. Okay. To drop one column, we use drop column. Drop column, we specify the column name. You cannot specify multiple column names for drop column. If you want to drop multiple columns, what we have to use? Drop, specify the columns which you want to drop. So using this drop keyword, you can drop one column or multiple columns. Okay, you can drop one column, you can drop one column also. Using this drop keyword, you can drop one column also. In the column list, if you specify one column will be dropped. Okay, so drop, here we specify the column list. If you give one column will be dropped. If you give 3 columns will be dropped. So to drop the multiple columns, we use drop keyword. Observe here, dropping multiple columns. We want to drop 2 columns now. So what we have to write? Alter table name is student 55. Okay, drop. Which columns we want to drop? M1 and M2. Now 2 columns will be dropped here. Observe. See here. What it is telling? M1, M2. Okay, 2 tables we are dropping here. Drop. In the parenthesis, we have to give the column names. Observe. Describe student 55. Now again in the table only 2 columns are there. Okay, M1, M2 are dropped. Observe here. Okay, so this is the way of dropping the columns. Next, now you know very clearly how to add the column, rename the column, and drop the column. To add the columns, we use add keyword. To rename the columns, we use rename column keyword. To drop the columns, to drop one column, drop column. To drop multiple columns or one column, drop. Next one is what? Modify. Now observe carefully here. See here. What is the SID data type here? Number data type. Okay. S name is varchar2 data type. Okay. For example, our requirement is we want to maintain like this. Assume that college is having multiple branches. Okay. So they want to maintain like this. If they have one branch in Hyderabad, so they want to maintain like this. HYD means Hyderabad branch. Okay, so HYD I'm giving some number here, 1 2 3 4. They want to maintain like this. So HYD 1 2 3 4, HYD 1 2 3 5. Okay, so like this they want to maintain. Okay, if Mumbai, they have one branch in Mumbai, so they want to maintain like this. Mumbai 1 2 3 4. Okay, Mumbai 1 2 3 5. Like this they want to maintain. But as of now, SID is which data type now? Number data type. Can number data type accept characters like this? Can number data type accept hyphen, such type of symbols? No. Now what we have to do? SID number data type, we have to change it to the varchar2. Okay. So total 8 characters, for example, 8 characters we want. So we want to change from number data type to char or varchar2. This is our requirement. So why we want to change? Because we don't want to maintain digits. We want to maintain branch code also like this. Branch code characters we want to maintain. So characters we want to accept. So that's why we need to change the data type now. Okay. So Example on changing data type. Okay, we want to change the data type. Please don't talk. Changing data type. So as of now, SID is number data type. We want to change that one. What we have tried? Alter table, table name, modify. Table name, modify, then give the column definition. Which column we want to modify? SID. If you want to modify multiple columns, we must use parentheses. Okay, for single column, no need to use parentheses. SID. As of now, it is number type. We are converting to the varchar 2 type. Observe here. Okay, I'm giving 10. Okay, 8 or 10. Observe. Is it working or not? See, as of now, SID is number data type. See here. Table altered. Now describe student 55. Okay, observe here. Now SID is which type now? Varchar 2 type. Okay, SID which type now? Varchar 2 type. Previously SID was which type? Number data type. So, but if data is there, you cannot modify directly like this. Remember, because of this SID is not having any data, directly you modified here. Because if SID is having data, you cannot modify like this. Okay, so you need to copy that data in another column. Okay, then you have to modify the data type. See, this is the way of changing the data type. Okay, I don't want varchar 2 type. I want number type only. So again, from varchar 2 to number, I want to change. So alter table student 55. Okay, we want to modify the data type. So use the keyword modify. Okay, SID number data type we want. So number of 4. Again, we are modifying. Observe now. Again, it is modified to the number type. From varchar 2 to we are modifying to the number only. Next, this is changing data type. Okay, so again, if you want to change from varchar 2 type to the number type, just simply write SID of number type. So now again, SID is the number type only. So this is the way of changing data type. And I want to increase the field size, changing field size. Changing field size. Observe here. Here, as of now, SNAME field size is what? SNAME field size is what? 10. 10 is the field size. I want to increase this field size from 10 to 15. Okay, so there is one name. That name is having 15 characters. So this field size is 10 only. It cannot hold 15 characters length name. So that's why I want to increase the field size from 10 to 15. So to increase the field size from 10 to 15, what we write here? Alter table. What's the table name? Student 55. To modify the field size also, which keyword we have to use? Modify. Okay. For which column? SNAME column. Varchar 2 of 15. Varchar 2 of 15 I am giving. I'm copying this. Observe here. Is it modifying or not? Just observe. Yes, table altered. Describe. Table name is student 55. Observe here. Previously, this SNAME field size was what? 10. Now field size is what? 15. Modified. So using modify keyword, we modify the field size. Sometimes interviewer may ask like this. Can we decrease the field size? Means yes, we can decrease, but if data is there, listen carefully. For example, here student names are there. Here student names are there. Like first student name is Raju, next student name is Kiran, next student name is Naresh. Okay, like this data is there. Okay, now as of now, this S name field size we modified as the 15. If you want to decrease the field size, in the Raju, how many characters are there? 4. In the Kiran, how many characters are there? 5. In the Naresh, how many characters are there? Okay, we can decrease up to 6 only. We can decrease up to 6 only because it is having data. So it has 6 characters data is there. Maximum number of characters in this data is 6 here. So we can decrease up to 6 only. Sname varchar 2 of 6 if you give, no problem. It can modify. If you give 5, it gives error. So you can modify up to 6 only because if 5 it is accepting, you will lose some data here. Some characters you will lose. You will lose the data. That's why you cannot decrease. Okay, so whenever we are decreasing, if data is there up to this maximum number of characters only, we can decrease. Here in this example, maximum number of characters value is what? 6. Up to 6 only we can decrease. Can we decrease up to 5 or 4 or 3? No. It gives error. Okay, so I'm trying to decrease now. Observe here. Okay, varchar 2, I'm giving size as 12 here. Okay, is it decreasing or not? Observe. Yes, decrease. To see the table structure, see now field size is what? 12. Okay, so to modify the field size also we are using the keyword modify. So like this we can modify the field sizes and data types. Now you know very clearly about modify keyword also. Why we are using add keyword? To add the columns. Why we are using rename column keyword? To change the column name. Okay, drop column, why we are using it? To drop one column. Okay, why we are using drop? To drop multiple columns. Why we are using modify? To modify the data type or field size. Okay, next one is what? Add constraint. Listen carefully here. In the constraints, very clearly we discussed that. In the constraints, very clearly we discussed that we can apply constraints at 2 levels. One is at table level, another one is at column level. Okay, so using add constraint, we can add table level constraints only. Using add constraint, we can add table level constraints only. Only table level constraints we can add. Okay, so total how many table level constraints are there? 4. 4 table level constraints are there. 4 table level constraints. What are those? Primary key, unique, check. Not null is column level constraint. Okay, check and foreign key or references. Foreign key. So these 4 are called table level constraints. Primary key, unique, check and foreign key. Primary key, just a minute. Primary key, unique, check, foreign key. These 4 constraints we can add by using add constraint. We cannot add not null or default. We cannot add not null or default using add constraint because those are column level constraints. Okay, so not null, default or column level constraints only, they are not table level constraints. So we cannot add not null or default using add constraint. So if we want to add not null constraint or default constraint, we must use modify. Default constraint, then we must use modify only. We must use modify. Modify only we have to use. For modify, what we are writing? Modify field name, data type. After this, you can specify like this: constraint name. Okay, not null if you want to apply, write not null like this. Like this we can write. So here using modify keyword only, we are applying s name as the not null. Not null constraint we are applying to the s name. Okay. So like this, to add default or not null, we have to use modify keyword only. Whereas if you want to add primary key or unique or check or foreign key, we must use add constraint. Observe now. See, adding primary key constraint. How can we add primary key constraint? Just observe. We want to add primary key constraint now. In this example, SID is non-primary key as of now. When we created this table, we didn't apply any constraints. When we created this table, SID, for SID, no constraint is there. We want to apply primary key for this SID column. So we want to add primary key constraint now. So what we have to write? Alter table. What is the table name? Student 55. Okay. Then to add the constraint, what we have to write? Add constraint. Add constraint. Constraint name. I am giving constraint name as A. Okay. Add constraint name. Or otherwise, I am giving constraint name as CON1. Constraint 1. Add constraint name. Which constraint we want to add? Primary key. Primary key we want to add. Okay. To which column we want to add? SID column. Like this we have to write. Okay. If you want to add unique, what we have to write here? Unique we have to write. Okay. If you want to add check constraint, okay, for the M1 column, what we have to write? Check M1 greater than or equals to 0 and M1 less than or equals to 100. Like this we write. Okay. But our requirement is adding primary key. So we are writing primary key of SID. To the SID column, we are applying primary key. Observe now. Is it applying primary key or not? Just observe. Okay. Observe here for SID here. About nulls, empty is there. About nulls, empty is there. Observe for SID. About nulls, empty is there. After running this alter command, okay, we want to add constraint. So add constraint. Give the constraint name CON1. Okay. Then we want to apply primary key constraint to which column? SID column. Observe here, table altered. To see the table structure, what we are writing? Describe student 55. Observe here. Here SID will not accept null values now. Because primary key means primary key does not accept null values and duplicate values also. Okay, observe. So in the table, I'm trying to insert the records. Insert into student 55 values. Okay, 1A I'm giving. Does it accept this record now? Yes, record will be accepted. Now one more record we are inserting. 1B I'm giving. Does it accept this record now? No. Why? SID is the primary key. Primary key does not accept duplicate value. So which error it will give? Unique constraint violated. Unique constraint violated. Observe here. Unique constraint violated. What is the constraint name? Observe. CON1. Okay. So this is the constraint name we have given. We added this using add constraint. We added this. Okay. So our constraint is working now. It is not accepting duplicate value. I'm trying to insert null value. Is it accept null value now? No. Okay. So cannot insert null into Oracle's name user student 55 table. Next, this is adding constraint. So now primary key is working or not? Temporarily, I want to disable it. So disabling constraint. Disabling constraint. So for disabling the constraint, what we have to write? Alter table. What is the table name? Student 55. Alter table name student 55. We want to disable the constraint. So write disable constraint name. What's the constraint name? CN1. So in such type of situations, name is useful. So why we have to give constraint names? Because when we want to disable or enable or drop, this name is useful. So that's why we are giving names to the constraints. So now primary key will not work now. Observe here, we are disabling the constraint con1. Now primary key will not work. Temporarily it is disabled. Temporarily it will not work. So now primary key means generally it will not accept duplicate values, it will not accept null values. But now observe here, I am giving one duplicate value. Select star from student 55. So in this already one, with one student ID, one record is there. One more record we are inserting. Insert into student 55 values. Again, I am giving one ID for B. Okay, is it accepting this record or not? Just observe here. One row created. Now primary key is working or not? Not working. Primary key disabled here. Primary key disabled. Okay. Now again I want to enable it. Enabling constraint. Next, enabling constraint. For enabling the constraint, what we have to write? Alter table. What is the table name? Student 55. What we have to write? Enable constraint. Enable constraint name. Which constraint you want to enable? con1. Again, con1 will be enabled, but as of now, it gives error. As of now, it gives error. Observe here what it is telling. Cannot validate, primary key violated. If it is enabling, what happens here? Okay, in the student 1 table, in the student 55 table, now two records are there. If it is enabling, okay, if it is enabling, it is against to the primary key rule. If it is enabling directly, it is against to the primary key rule. Primary key means what? That should not have duplicate values and null values. So because of it is having duplicate value, you cannot enable now. Okay, so what we have to do? First we have to delete this record. After deleting this record only, we can enable. If you want to enable primary key here, first delete this record, then enable it. So I'm deleting this record now. So delete from student 55. Student name equals to what? B student record we're deleting. Okay, sorry. Delete from student 55. What is the field name here? S name only. Where clause missed here. Okay, so delete from student 55 where S name equals to B. Okay, now B record is deleted. Observe here. So now see the table data. Select star from student 55. Now can we enable now? Yes, enable, because it is not having duplicate values and null values. Whenever we are enabling the primary key, that should not have duplicate values and null values. So now the same query I'm running. Okay, what it is telling? Table altered. Now again primary key will work now. Just insert one record here. I'm inserting one record. 1B I'm inserting. Now can we insert this record now? No. Okay, see here. Again it is telling unique constraint violated. So primary key is again enabled, working. So this is the way of disabling and enabling. Okay, sometimes we need to accept the null values in the primary key. At that time we have to disable it. For example, here student ID, student name is there. Okay, one student joined in the college, but student ID is not assigned to him. We want to accept null value now, temporarily. So what we have to do? We have to disable it. Okay. After that, when college is assigning student ID, you can modify this value by using update command. In the update command, you will learn that one. Now, after updating this, just simply enable it. For enabling, this is a procedure. So now you know how to disable the constraint and how to enable the constraint. So disable means temporarily we are disabling. After some time, if you want to enable it, we can enable. But permanently, I want to rename this constraint name. This constraint name I want to rename. What is the constraint name now? Okay, CON1. I want to rename it. Renaming constraint. Renaming constraint. So for renaming the constraint, what we have to write? Alter table. Table name is student 55. For renaming constraint, what we have to write? Rename constraint. Rename constraint. Then give old name here. What is the old name? C1 1. 2. Give the new name here. I'm giving new name as AAA. Okay, AAA is the new name. So this A is the new name. Observe now. I'm copying this. See. Okay. Constraint name renamed or not? Yes. Constraint name is renamed. Observe here. In this table, I'm trying to insert one duplicate record. It is giving error. Whenever it is giving error, what is the name it is using? AAA name it is using. Just now we renamed CON1 to AAA. So when it is giving error, it is using the constraint name AAA here. Okay. Now, or otherwise, if you try to disable the constraint by using the older name, okay, I'm trying to disable the constraint by using older name. Now it will not work. Observe, because CON1 renamed as A. So what it is telling, it is cannot disable constraint CON1 because no such constraint is there. It's CON1 name, no constraint is there. That's why you are unable to disable. So with this, you can understand that the CON1 renamed to the AAA. Next case, dropping constraint. Dropping constraint. So how can we drop the constraint? Last one, alter table. Table name is student 55. Okay, drop constraint name. Drop constraint name. What is the constraint name? AAA. We modified. Okay, AAA is the new name. Observe now. As of now, primary key is there or not? Just observe. So select star from what is the table name? Student 55. Okay, sorry. Describe student 55. Observe here. Here what it is displaying? Not null. It cannot accept the null values. Now I want to drop it permanently. I want to drop the constraint AAA permanently. So what we are writing? Alter table name student 55. Okay, drop constraint. Give the constraint name. Constraint name is AAA. Okay, observe here what it is telling. Table altered. Now see the table structure. Okay, see here. At the place of not null, blank it is displaying. Previously, when primary key was there, what it is displaying? Not null. Now primary key dropped here. So what it is telling? Nothing is there. Or otherwise, you can try to insert the duplicate record here. Now this will be accepted. Okay, it is accepting. So primary key is not there for SID. So this is a way of dropping constraint. So now you know all points regarding alter command. So with one example, you can practice all these 10. Observe here. Using alter command, what we can do? We can add the columns, rename the columns, drop the columns, add the constraints, disable the constraints, enable the constraints, rename the constraints, drop the constraints, modify the field sizes, and modify the data types. Okay. Now for adding the columns, which keyword we have to use? Add keyword. For renaming the columns, which keyword we have to use? Rename column. Rename column, give old name to new name. Okay. For dropping the columns, which keyword we have to use? Drop. Drop, then specify the column list. For adding the constraints, which keyword we have to use? Add constraint, constraint name, constraint type we have to give. For disabling the constraint, what we have to write? Disable constraint. For enabling the constraint, which keyword we have to use? Enable constraint. For renaming the constraint, which keyword we have to use? Rename constraint, old name to new name. For dropping the constraint, which keyword we have to use? Drop constraint. Drop constraint. For modifying the field sizes, which keyword we have to use? Modify. For modifying the data types, which keyword we have to use? Modify only. Okay. So just we are following this syntax only. I already told SQL is memory based. You have to remember this syntax, follow the syntax. Based on our requirement, we apply that syntax. So please confirm, is it clear about alter command? Next. So I try to finish these DDL commands today. Listen. So this Oracle SQL is providing DDL commands to us. Total 7 commands are there. Now you know very clearly about create command and alter command. Okay. Now I want to talk about truncate command. Truncate. Okay. After this, we discuss about drop, flashback, drop, flashback, and purge. These three are related. Drop, flashback, purge are related. Okay. And next one is rename. Or otherwise, this truncated, I talk about truncate later, truncate and rename later. Now I want to cover drop, flashback, and purge. Okay. So total 7 commands are there. You know, 2 commands very clearly. Create command is to create the database objects like tables, views, indexes. Using alter command, we can change the structure of table. We can add the columns, drop the columns, rename the columns, add the constraints, etc. Okay. Now I want to talk about drop, flashback, and purge. These 3 are related. Listen carefully. To understand this, I'm giving one simple example to you. Okay. So this is related to recycle bin concept. All these 3 commands are related to recycle bin concept. So drop, flashback, purge. You already know in our computer recycle bin is there. This is recycle bin. This recycle bin maintains deleted files and folders. You already know this one. Okay. For example, here one file is there, demo1 file is there. In this some data is there. Okay. This file I want to delete now. So to delete this file, I'm right clicking on it and I'm selecting delete option. Now when we delete the file, where this file will go now? Recycle bin. Okay. Try to understand. If you understand this example very easily, you can understand about drop, flashback, purge. Okay. No need to put much efforts here. See, I'm removing this. Delete means that is deleted. Where it is placed? The recycle bin. In the recycle bin placed or not, just observe here. Okay, observe here. Demo1.txt file placed in the recycle bin. Okay, just now we deleted on 9th May at 10:20 a.m. Just now we deleted this file. Okay, so why it is placing in the recycle bin? Please confirm. Why in the recycle bin? This file again, you can restore. In the future, if you want this file again, you can restore it. That is the advantage we are getting. So if accidentally if we delete it, that will be in the recycle bin. Simply right click on it, select which option, restore option. Okay, this restore option is just like flashback. Restore option is just like flashback. Delete option is just like drop. That's it. Once again, I'm repeating. Listen. Here one file is there, demo1.txt file is there. Okay, on desktop, demo1.txt file is there. I'm selecting delete option. When we delete, where it will go? To the recycle bin. Why it is placing in the recycle bin? In the future, if you want to recollect it, we can recollect. We can restore. Observe here, if you want to restore in the future, if you want to recollect it, right clicking, and we are selecting which option here, restore option. Again, it is restored there. Observe. Again, we got the file. Just like restore option is there. Okay, this flashback command is just like restore option here. Okay, restore option is the operating system. This drop command is just like delete option. Just like delete option in the operating system. Okay. Now, similarly, in your mobile, you are using Google Photos or Gallery. There, when you delete the photo, where that will be placed? In the recycle bin. Okay. Why it is placing in the recycle bin? In the future, if you want to recollect, you can recollect. Okay. If accidentally, if you deleted the photos, those will be in the recycle bin. From recycle bin, again, you can recollect by using restore option. Same thing is happening here. So this drop command is used to drop the tables. When we drop the table, it will be placed in the recycle bin. From the recycle bin, if you want to recollect it, we use one command. What is that one? Flashback command. Okay. Now, see here. Drop command. Drop. This command is, drop command is used to drop the database objects. Is it to drop the database objects like tables, views, indexes, etc. If you want to drop the database objects like tables, views, indexes, we use this drop command. Okay, so dropping table syntax for dropping table. So this syntax we have to follow for dropping the table. Observe here. Drop table, table name. Drop table, table name. This syntax we have to follow. Drop table, table name. Now see, for example, there is a table is there, student table is there. The previous session somewhere we created this. Okay, student table is there. Okay, let me set the see. See here, observe. In the student table, total how many columns are there? 3 columns are there. Total how many columns are there? 3 columns are there. So now it is displaying data like this. Observe, 2 columns it is displaying in one line. Third column it is displaying in another line. Because of line size, it is displaying like this. Here, as of now, line size is 30 here. In one line, it is able to display 30 characters only. In one line, it is able to display 30 characters only. So that's why there is displaying M1 value in another line. So for this, if you want to set the line size, we write like this, set line S, or completely also you can write like this, set line size completely you can write, or shortly line S means size. I'm giving line size as 200 now. In one line, it can display 200 characters. That is the meaning of this one. Now, in one line, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like this. How many characters it can display now? 200 characters it can display in one line. So that is the meaning of line size. Okay, sometimes we set, for example, assume that here 100 records are there. In one page it can display 10 lines only. So at that time, per page it can display 8 records only. Observe. See, for example, assume that page size is 10. Assume that page size is 10. Page size is 10. If page size is 10, in one page, how many records it can display, sir? 8 records only. One is column heading, one is line. Next, it can display how many records? 8 records only. After 8 records, again it will display SID, SNAME, M1, column headings. Again, 8 records will be displayed. Again, SID, SNAME, M1. Again, 8 records will be displayed. Like this, per page, 8 records only it can display. That is the meaning of page size. So if you want to get all those 100 records in one page, okay, increase the page size. Increase the page size by using like this. Okay, set page size as 200. Okay, now page size will be increased. That is the meaning of page size, line size. Okay, so line size 200 means in one line it can display 200 characters. Page size 200 means in one page it can display 200 lines. Okay, so set page size 200, line size 200 we are writing. The meaning of this one is, okay, line size 200 means in one line it can display 200 characters. That is the meaning of this one. Okay, page size 200 means in one page it can display 200 lines. So every time after opening SQL plus, I'm using set page size 200, line size 200. What is the meaning of this one means? This is the meaning. Line size 200 means in one line it can display 200 characters. Page size 200 means in one page it can display 200 lines, including column headings. It counts. Okay, that's it. So now see about drop command. So when we drop command is used to drop the tables. So when we use this drop command, the table will be placed in the recycle bin. When we drop the table, it will be placed in recycle bin. It will be placed in recycle bin. So syntax little bit I'm changing. Drop table, table name, purge. Drop table, table name. Sometimes we write purge. Writing purge is optional. To indicate optional, I'm using square braces here. Drop table, table name. Sometimes we write purge. When we use, I will explain. So when we drop the table, where it will go? To the recycle bin. Just like when we delete this file, where it is going? Recycle bin. Okay, now the file is in the recycle bin. In the same way, same drop command is also same here. When we drop the table, this table name is student. So to drop this table, we are writing drop table student. Okay, so now observe here. See here, I'm clearing the screen. Just observe. Okay, table name is student. Select star from student. Now student table is existed. In this 4 records are there. Now we want to drop this table. Now to drop this table, what we are writing? Drop table, table name. Okay, to see the recycle bin, what we have to write here? Show recycle bin. Show recycle bin, don't write semicolon. Even if you write semicolon, no problem, but not required. So show recycle bin we are writing. So recycle bin is empty now. That's why it is displaying nothing here. Show recycle bin means it is displaying nothing because recycle bin is empty now. Now we are dropping the table. Observe, to drop the table, what we are writing? Drop table. Table name is what? Student. Now student table is dropped. Observe here. Table dropped. Now where this dropped table will be placed? In the recycle bin. Okay. So now if you want to use this table, you cannot use the table because table is deleted. Okay. Student table deleted or not? Yes. So drop table student means student table deleted. So student table is deleted. Now select star from student means what it is telling. Observe here. Table or view does not exist. Previously select star from student means it is displaying 4 records with 3 columns. But now after using this drop command, drop table student means table deleted. Now after deleting the table, if you write select star from student, it is displaying table or view does not exist. So with this we can understand that drop table is used, drop command is used to delete the tables. Okay, but the deleted table placed in the recycle bin, if in the future if you want to recollect, you can recollect. Just observe the recycle bin here. Show recycle bin, I'm typing. Is it placed in the recycle bin or not? Observe. Previously show recycle bin means it was giving empty result. But now show recycle bin means it is displaying student table. Okay, and it maintains one recycle bin name also. It is maintaining one recycle bin name. Sometimes it is useful. When it is useful, sir, for example, after dropping this table, you are creating another table with student. That table also you dropped. Now, whenever you are recollecting 2 student tables are there, which student table you have to recollect, you have to tell by using this recycle bin name. Sometimes it is useful. Later we discuss, don't bother. Okay, so when we drop the table, where it will be placed? The recycle bin. The recycle bin also, it is maintaining one name for that. So object type is table. When it is dropped, it is maintaining the time. Observe here. Okay, when it is dropped on 9th May 2002. On 9th May 2002 at 10:31. Okay, seconds. At 10:31, 26 seconds, this table is dropped. So now, from this recycle bin, in the future, we want to recollect. So at that time, which command we have to use now? Flashback. Flashback command we have to use. So this flashback command is flashback command is used to restore the dropped tables. So to restore the dropped tables, we have to use which command? Flashback command. Okay, see the syntax here. Syntax is flashback table, table name to before drop. Okay, table name to before drop. Like this we write. Flashback table name to before drop. Okay, sometimes we write to, rename to, not to, rename to new name. Sometimes we write this one. Okay, when we write, we discuss about it later. Okay, just to see flashback table name to before drop. This is the query we have tried to recollect the dropped table from the recycle bin. According to our example here, just now we dropped one table. What is the table name? Student table. So to drop the student table, what we have written? Drop table student. So drop table student we have written. Okay, so it is dropping the recycle bin. It is dropping the table and placing in the recycle bin. Just a minute, please wait. So when we write like this, the above query, okay, student table will be dropped. Student table will be dropped and it will be placed in. It will be placed in recycle bin. So with the above query, student table will be dropped and it will be placed in the recycle bin. Okay, so when we write drop table student, student table will be dropped and it will be placed in the recycle bin. So from the recycle bin, we want to recollect now. So for this, we are writing like this. Flashback. What we are writing? Flashback. Table. What's the table name? Student 2 before drop. 2 before drop. So what is the meaning of before drop, sir? So the meaning of this one is before going to drop the table, whatever the table state was there, in that state, this will be flashback, recollected. That is the meaning of this one. So before going to drop the table, whatever the table state was there, in that state, this table will be recollected. For example, when we are deleting this student table, how many records were there? 4 records were there. This is the table state now. With 4 records only, now table will be recollected. For example, when we are dropping student table, if the table has 100 records, when we are recollecting, with how many records it will be recollected now? With 100 records. So before drop, whatever the table state is there, in that state, it will recollect now. That is the meaning of this one. So flashback table student to before drop. Before dropping, if 4 records are there, with 4 records, it will be recollected. Observe now. As of now, select star from student means what it is telling? Table or view does not exist because it is dropped. Now in the recycle bin, it is available. Observe here, show recycle bin. Now in the recycle bin, it is available. From the recycle bin, we want to recollect now. For this, which command we have to use? Flashback. Flashback table. What is the table name? Student 5. 2 before drop. 2 before drop we are writing. Only, sorry. Okay. Only student. Okay. So flashback table name is student 2 before drop. 2 before drop. Observe here what it is telling now? Flashback complete. So again table restored. Okay, observe now, select star from student means previously it was telling that table or view does not exist, but now what it is telling? Observe here, again 4 records it is displaying or not? See, table is restored. So for restoring the table, which command we are using? Flashback command. Okay, now when we use purge commands, next command is what? Purge. Now you know 2 commands, drop and flashback. Drop command is used to drop the table. When we drop the table, it will be go to the recycle bin. From the recycle bin, if you want to recollect, which command we are using? Flashback. Next command is what? Purge. This purge is, see, for example, here in the recycle bin, demo1.txt file is there. If you want to recollect this, what you are doing? Right clicking and you are selecting restore option. For example, here we are selecting delete option. Permanently it will be deleted. Good. That's it. So permanently it will be deleted. In the same way, this purge is just like selecting delete in recycle bin. Purge is just like, okay, delete in recycle bin. This is just like delete in recycle bin. Purge is just like delete in recycle bin. So when we use purge command, it deletes from the recycle bin. Permanently it will be deleted. Again, we cannot recollect. Okay, so we are writing like this. See, command name is what? Purge. Why we are using this purge command? Purge command is used to delete the table from recycle bin. Is to delete the table from recycle bin. From the recycle bin also, if you want to delete, we can use this purge command. So what is the syntax here? Observe. Syntax here is purge table, give the table name. Very simple. Purge table, table name. Purge table, table name. This syntax we have to follow. Okay, so this is the syntax to delete the table from the recycle bin. For example, we are writing like this: purge table student. Now student table will be deleted permanently. Again, we cannot recollect it. Okay, so with this student table will be dropped from recycle bin, will be deleted from recycle bin. Again, we cannot recollect it. Okay, now you tell me, there is one table is there. There is one table is there. Employee table is there. I want to delete it permanently. I want to delete it permanently. First, what we have tried? Drop. Drop. Table. Table name. Employee. Now, where this table will go? Recycle. From the recycle bin, I want to delete. Purge. Purge table. Table name is what? Employee. Now, employee table will be deleted permanently. So, to delete table permanently, how many queries we are writing? 2 queries we are writing. So, instead of writing 2 queries like this, simply, if our requirement is, observe here, here demo1 file is there. From this demo1 file, I am deleting. Where it will be placed? In the recycle bin. From the recycle bin also, I am deleting. Permanently it will be deleted. So how many steps you are following? 2 steps. Here you are deleting. In the recycle bin also you are deleting. I want to delete it permanently. What we press? Shift delete. Okay. If you want to delete the file here, what we press here? Shift delete. Shift delete means directly it is deleting permanently. Observe here. Are you sure you want to permanently delete this file? It is asking. Yes means permanently it will be deleted. How many steps you are following now? One only. One step only. Shift delete means one step only you are following. In the same way, here also you have no need to write 2 queries here. Just simply write drop table name purge. That's it. Drop table name purge. This is just like shift delete. This is just like shift delete. This is just like shift delete. Okay, permanently it will be deleted. Okay, in the operating system we are using shift delete. This is just like shift delete only. Okay, observe here. Okay, as of now student table is there or not? Yes. Okay, I'm dropping it. Observe quickly. I'm showing drop table. Table name is what? Student. Student table is dropped. Where it is placed? In the recycle bin. Recycle bin. Okay, from the recycle bin I want to delete it. Which command we have to use? Purge. Purge table. What is the table name? Student. Okay, from the recycle bin it will be deleted. Okay, now open the recycle bin. Observe here, recycle bin is empty. So purge table student means from the recycle bin it is deleted. For example, there is a table, employee table is there. There is a table, employee table is there. This employee table I want to delete permanently. So what we have tried here? Drop table. Table name is what? Employee. Purge. Purge means permanently it will be. Is this table will be placed in the recycle bin? No. If purge is not there, it placed in the recycle bin. Because of purge, permanently it is deleted. Observe here. Show recycle bin means recycle bin is empty. Permanently this is deleted. Is it clear? I'm stopping the session here. Now you know very clearly about drop, flashback, and purge. The next session I covered truncate and rename, and we finished this DDL commands, and also we discuss about DRL command select. Thank you everyone. See you tomorrow.